Now let me read this tweet to you. It says, "It kind of bothers me when a black business builds itself on support black business, then sells off the equity to others. Feel finessed out of my support for community." So this person feels like they got finessed. What's another tweet? Verzuz started off as an organic celebration of music between artists and evolving into a commodity sold to the highest dollar. This is who owns Verzuz. This is the man who owns Verzuz. You know why Super Bowl commercials are so expensive? It's because there's over 100 million people watching. So Super Bowl commercials are extremely expensive because everybody is watching. All right? Let's move ahead. So Verzuz is generating these analytics because they were always going to sell. And I'm not mad at them for selling. That's not the issue. What's up, good people? It's the poor black man. I respect your time and I respect your intelligence. And this video is questioning the motives of two creators, Swiss Beats and Timbaland. Questioning, if they are attempting to insult your intelligence. That is the question. Are Swiss Beats and Timbaland insulting your intelligence when they tell you that they sold for the culture, for the benefit of creatives and themselves? That is the question, and we are going to look at the information, and you are going to decide for yourself. I am here to provide the information and give you my perspective. Let's check this out. It appears that Swiss Beats and Timbaland have been finessed by Triller. Swiss Beats and Timbaland, they sold Verzuz to Triller, and it looks like they got finessed. Let me explain, and I'll try to make this quick. First and foremost, if you're not paying for something, you are the product. Timbaland said they gave you this for free. And I am telling you that if you are not paying for something, you are the product.
We want respect from each other, but we don't respect each other. We want ownership.
Because we want stuff to be great for the people. That's what we do it for. We do it for the love, man. And after this,
Facebook is free. Instagram is free. YouTube is free. Although you're not coming out of the pocket, you are paying with your time and your privacy. That's why they have those privacy disclosures, because your information is being sold to advertisers. That's how Google makes money, advertisements. That's how Facebook makes money. Facebook owns Instagram. If you are getting something for free, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. Nothing is free. As you are watching this YouTube video right now on my very small YouTube channel, you are giving me your time, and you cannot get that time back. As I always say, I respect your time and I respect your intelligence. Let's just remember, all right? So, Verzuz was sold to Triller. A lot of you don't even know what the hell Triller is. Do you have it downloaded on your phone? You probably don't, okay? Swiss Beats and Timbaland, they said, "We haven't led you wrong thus far." Well, I am here to tell you that they have led the culture wrong, because they have argued that we do this for the love, we do this for the culture.
We want respect from each other, but we don't respect each other. We want ownership.
Because we want stuff to be great for the people. That's what we do it for. We do it for the love, man. And after this.
Now, if you go to Verzuz TV, there is a post where they indicate how Teddy Riley and Babyface generated 3 million streams the day after Verzuz. The day after their Verzuz battle, they generated 3 million streams combined. How much money do you make from 3 million streams? Listen to this.
Streams. Based on my 1.5 million streams, I made $28.64.
Get the entire fuck out of here.
And so, right. So,
oh, wow.
I say that to say, as an artist, that is actually the main reason why artists like Tiffany Red don't stream music. Because at the end of the day, the only way that they can really see any revenue from music is to exclusively sell it directly to the fans. There's no...
So basically, if we're using her numbers, I believe she got, what'd she say, $28? The money that she got from her million streams, times that by 3. And that's somewhere around what Teddy Riley and Babyface, there is not a lot of money in streaming revenue. All right. Number 2, if we look at Verzuz, and pay attention to what they began to post after they made the partnership with Apple. Let me find it. After the battles they began to post analytics. Alicia Keys versus John Legend, 160,000 on IG Live, 590,000 on Apple TV, and what do they have? 1 billion impressions. This data is what they leveraged to sell Verzuz to Triller. Look at what we were able to do with our audience, with our culture. So when you show this data, how you can bring, look at this, it says 6 million in total, right? You know why Super Bowl commercials are so expensive? It's because there's over 100 million people watching. So Super Bowl commercials are extremely expensive because everybody is watching. All right, let's move ahead. So Verzuz is generating these analytics because they were always going to sell, and I'm not mad at them for selling. That's not the issue. All right. Remember when Jay-Z sold his share of the Brooklyn Nets, and we thought that he was like a really big owner, and it later came out that he was only a 1% owner? So you got black people thinking that Jay-Z is the big dog and he's running the show with the Brooklyn Nets, when all it really was it was just for show. They put a black person in the ownership group. He only owned 1% of the Brooklyn Nets. He also helped gentrify Brooklyn. All right? Pay attention to these things. Verzuz has 5.6 million followers on Instagram, and Triller has 888,000. Verzuz, 5.6 million people follow Verzuz, and Triller, they only have 888,000. Interesting. Do any of you have Triller on your phone? Do you have the Triller app on your phone? The answer is probably no. If anybody has the Triller app on their phone, please drop a comment. All right. Let me get through this because I want to bring this home really quick. So, Swiss Beats and Timbaland, they are saying that they now have equity and that they are partners at Triller. Well, in October, Triller was found to allegedly be inflating its user numbers. February 16, 2021, this is Billboard. Triller has been inflating public user figures, and now they are not denying it. So in October, it was alleged. And then when it was brought up again, Billboard, a very prominent publication, says that Triller is not denying that they inflated their numbers. Okay? Now let's move forward. When you talk about inflating numbers, so you're lying about the number of people that are using your platform, and then you value yourself at 10 billion. Even with half the users, they're giving themselves a $10 billion valuation. That's what they say they're worth. Now check this out. They're already inflating numbers, and they were paying people to leave TikTok and come over to Triller. If you look at the Wikipedia page for Triller, it says, in order to attract new talent to their platform and poach content creators from TikTok, they were criticized for providing these creators with large sums of money and equity in the company. So if Triller is such a great platform, why are they paying people to come over to Triller? Who did they pay? I'll show you. They paid a group called the Sway Boys. This is just one group that they paid. The Sway Boys. I believe I have their Instagram profiles up. Here are the Sway Boys with 1.9 million followers. It's a group of white boys. These are the Sway Boys, that Triller paid to come over to their platform. All right? Now, what did they give the Sway Boys? What did they give the Sway Boys? This was the deal that Triller gave the Sway Boys. They said, if you tell your audience on TikTok that you're moving to Triller, we'll give you equity, the same thing they gave Swiss Beats and Timberland. We will give you equity and roles within the company. You can still post on TikTok, they were told, but only if you post on Triller more frequently. And in turn, Sway Boy Josh Richardson, an 18-year-old, he was named Triller's Chief Strategy Officer. A 21-year-old and a 19-year-old, they also joined as advisors with equity. So Triller gave these children, 18, 19, and 21, they gave them jobs and they gave them money and they gave them equity in the program, in the company, excuse me. These young men have 5.4 million followers. If you go back to Verzuz, now they got 5.4 million on TikTok. If you go back to Verzuz boasts 5.6 million followers on Instagram. And we don't hear about Triller giving jobs to any of those creators. All we hear about is Timberland and Swiss Beats getting equity. The same equity that they gave to these teenagers. Rock with me. Stop me when I'm wrong. Because I'm just reading from the information that's available online, from the New York Times, from Billboard, from Instagram. Come on now. Now, let me wrap this up. The home run the grand slam is that, let me zoom in, Triller is owned by Proxima Media. Proxima Media is the parent company for Triller. So not only did Swiss Beats and Timberland give up their company to Triller, Triller does not even have control of Verzuz. Proxima has controlling ownership. So they will control what happens with Triller, which in turn controls what happens with Verzuz. Who is Proxima Media? I believe this is a CEO. Ryan Kavanaugh is a U.S. businessman who owns Proxima Media. Kavanaugh, I don't know. This is who owns Verzuz. This is the man who owns Verzuz, who happens to be the man who owns Proxima Media, which has controlling ownership of Triller. This is the poor black man. I am arguing that Timberland and Swiss Beats got finessed by a company that has been inflating its value, by a company that was giving equity to TikTok creators. So Swiss Beats and Timberland leveraged black culture and got equity at this company that is not worth what it says it's worth. I think they got finessed. This is the poor black man. I respect your time. I respect your intelligence. Links to each article will be in the description so you can read it for yourself. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.